Audio Novels 2.0. Hello everyone. We are once again together in a new story. We hope you like it and that you enjoy it as we did when creating it. Eat healthy, drink water daily and do not overexert yourself. Take care and welcome to Audio Novels 2.0. In an alternate subspace, a fragment of an unknown entity was lining up to begin his adventure. This little fragment is kind and true-hearted, the line continued as he eagerly awaited his moment to shine. Very good. Next, fragment number 324. It's your turn. Yes sir, here is fragment number 324 ready to start your mission. Very well, listen carefully. Currently the planet to which you were chosen is in serious condition. It is also about to become extinct and remain as a deserted planet with no life, so you will have one extra help. When you are inside you will be able to request one ability specifically for your adventure. This is only given to shards in special cases like this. The fragment nods, understanding that a difficult decision awaits him at the beginning. Well, listen, at this moment the last creatures that exist on this planet are about to die, and keep in mind that your decision at the beginning will be very important. Think about it carefully before asking for the skill and the body that you will choose. The fragment nods seriously. Very good. Fragment number 324 ahead. View of the fragment. Yes sir, I step towards the portal, and what I see leaves me without reaction. It is a deserted planet, everything is arid and lifeless. Oh! Those are the last species that the administrator said. Apparently they are a wolf, a bird, a bear, a lizard, and a small dragon. No matter how I look at them, they are all malnourished and thirsty. Apparently they are digging in the sand. They are digging so slowly that it seems that they were turtles. My heart aches when I see them. They don't even have the strength to fight each other. I am reminded of the advice that the administrator told me, that it was important to choose well the skill and the body that I am going to choose. But seeing these living beings clinging to life so desperately, that I cannot choose, tears of sadness they begin to drip down my face. I want to save them, I want to take care of them, I want them to live. Then I see a tiny sprout, the last effort of this planet for life. The tears do not stop. Then I make a decision and make my wish. I wish the power to help you all, I wish the power to heal you all, I wish the power to save you all, and I wish the power to bring you all to life. My strong desire to save everyone gathers within me and begins to take shape. Skill acquired, all of creation. Animals' point of view. Water, water, we are so thirsty, we haven't eaten anything for days. My brothers and sisters have already died due to lack of water. In order to survive a little longer, we have eaten our own blood. We have to live. Water, I am so thirsty, I am so exhausted. But I have to continue. The sacrifice of my brothers cannot end this way. I have to live. We do not even have the strength to open our eyes. Water please, just a little water. Sound of water drops. Have a drink this, it's water. I open my dry eyes. What I see are hands and a liquid is coming out of the hands. It's water, water. I quickly approach the precious water and start to drink desperately. I manage to take a couple of gulps of the long-awaited water. I hear a soft voice. Calm down, the water will not run out, I have enough for everyone. Then the liquid water that came out of his hand began to come out in greater quantity and a small puddle of water is generated. The others, hearing the water, open their eyes and they begin to run desperately towards the puddle of water. Some arrive and begin to drink the water in large gulps, and others do not stop and fall into the small puddle without strength, and begin to drink while lying on the ground. Then their hands. They approach the collapsed little dragon and help him get up. He manages to get up but without stopping drinking. That's when I get a good look at the being that helped us. And I open my eyes with great surprise. What I see is a young person. He has leaf green hair, his eyes are light green, and he has a kind face. Then the person stretches out his hand, and the place where he points begins to generate a little earth, and some bushes with fruits. Some realize and go towards the bush and begin to eat the fruits, me included, it's tasty, tears of joy come from my eyes, for the first time we can eat something delicious. While I was eating happily I noticed a shadow. Confused I look towards the shadow and what I see is a tree about 6 meters high and, it is growing, little by little, but it does not stop growing. And there is that person next to the tree, he is waving his hand happily in the form of a greeting, he stops eating with a WA. All this was given to us and we have not shown our gratitude. I start calling everyone else. View of the fragment. Acquired skill, all creation. So the body I chose is the little sapling, I'll take your will and make it come true. So once I enter the little shoot, it starts to grow little by little and I start to take shape. I can see the thirsty clothes, they are so tired that they can't even open their eyes. I get closer to the wolf, which seems to be the one in the worst condition. My body is brimming with energy and I seem to intuitively know how to use the ability of all creation. I put my hands together and start to imagine water coming out of them, and water starts to be created out of nothing, but actually it is using my magical power. The use is negligible, it spends nothing on me at all. Have a drink this. The wolf seems to listen the sound of drops falling on the sand and he opens his eyes slowly, and when he sees the water jumps into my hands and starts drinking desperately. It's good that I arrived on time. Don't worry, I have enough for everyone, so I start to create more and more water until I generate a small puddle of about 10 meters by 10 meters. While I was creating it, the other clothes began to run desperately towards the small puddle, and one tripped and fell. He fell, I approach him and lift him slightly, they were so thirsty that he did not stop drinking at all times. Well, the water is fine for now, it's time for some food. I stretch my hand to the side of the small pool of water and imagine a tree with some fruits on it. My magic power started to pass through my hands, then a small sapling, which grew rapidly and became a bush with several fruits on it. Apparently the fruits are different. You dress them when they see the tree, their stomachs growl and they go straight to eat. Their eyes full of happiness when eating the fruits give joy to my heart, filling with warmth. Oh! The wolf saw me and stopped eating. I greet him gently, he looks confused, he is opening and shutting his mouth continuously. Suddenly he starts howling, drawing the attention of others who also stop eating, and then they start walking towards me. They approach a distance of about 2 meters and prostrate on the ground. Then the wolf raises his head and I hear in my head, "Great being, we thank you from the bottom of our hearts for this kindness that you have presented to us, and we want you to accept our oath of loyalty to your great being." Upon finishing listening to your sentence they all raise their heads waiting for my answer, they look very serious. I think that saying no would destroy them, since they would think that I would throw them away. I think there is only one answer left. With a smile I answer them, "Yes, it's a pleasure to meet you." The clothes look happy to be accepted. "Very good, this is my first order." The clothes stand firm to listen to my voice. "Eat and drink water to your heart's content and rest, then we'll talk." The dresses respond with some happy sounds and go to eat and drink until they are full, then they come closer and lie down around me, I stroke their heads and they fall asleep happily. After 1 hour of sleeping, the clothes wake up and begin to tell me their stories. The little dragon, he tells me that he comes from a lineage of purebred dragons and his parents died in a fight for food. It was when the food was running out and some hungry dragons started fighting for food, then everything was a disaster, they were dragons killing each other, the smell of blood began to attract the wild clothes, adding more to the fight. His mother was able to escape with him, but she was with a wound that was fatal to her life. After 7 days the mother he died and I promise him that he would live, and he had to start eating his own mother. The little dragon's tears flowed just like the others. Later I heard the stories of the others and they were similar, and that they came together while wandering since they all had one thing in common, and that is that they had to eat a loved one in order to survive. And that the lizard was a kind of dragon, but without wings. I asked them how the world got to the current state and they all responded, with a "we don't know anything." After that we spent a few days looking for nearby survivors, but we didn't find anyone else, and while we spent time together they told me stories their parents told them, that the world used to be beautiful with big trees and many living creatures, and food at the like water, it existed in vast quantities. And that one day they would like to be able to see them with their own eyes. The next day I told them that I had a plan, and that after that I would be sleeping for a long time, I don't know how long, but it would be many years, it could even last hundreds of thousands of years, for what I would be about to do. The clothes tried to persuade me not to try it, but after explaining that it is necessary to heal the world, the clothes with a lot of resistance accept my decision, but ask me to give them a name before they start. I called the wolf, Furier. I called the bird, Latias. To the bear, Pentacles. The earth dragon, Dragter. And finally to the little dragon, Dragner. They were happy and repeated their names with pride. Hee hee, how cute they are. So I began to make the preparations. I approached the tree that I merged with my being, and I begin to concentrate, imagining the entire world full of life, with many trees, seas, clothes, and animals of all kinds, a multitude of life forms. I began to merge with the tree and the magical energy began to be generated in exaggerated amounts. I felt like my body ached and my mind began to fade, but I could not allow myself to rest now. Increasing my resolution, I increased the speed and power with all my being, until that I lost consciousness. Point of view of the clothes. Our benefactor began to approach the big tree and touched it with his hand and closed his eyes. Then a large amount of energy began to flow from the tree, and the environment began to change. What it was before sand was turning into earth. Wait, no, the earth is turning into a forest full of life. He began to merge into the big tree, then a few seconds later, the big tree began to generate magical energy in unimaginable amounts, and grew even more, until it reached about 100 meters in height, and after 1 hour of continuously generating energy, it stopped. When we looked at our surroundings, what we saw was a big forest with giant trees, and birds. I can hear the birds singing. Wait, that's not all, my fur changed, I've also grown a little more, woo, I see the others and also changed a lot. We were left looking petrified at each other. After a few seconds, we started running with all our might, watching the landscape. After 1 hour of having fun, we got together in the giant tree and decided that it would be called the Tree of the World, the first tree that gave life to everything. We also decided that we would separate to see the world that our great benefactor created for us. And once separated, we will wait for the arrival of our benefactor to show him the world that he has created.